Greetings, boys and girls. In today's video, we are going to be figuring out, is this problem a fraction multiplication or a fraction division problem? Alrighty. So the first thing we want to start out with is we want to talk about the difference between the multiplication and division. We know that if we have a multiplication problem, we are going to be looking at multiple groups, okay, of a particular size. Okay, so you may have 4 cups that each hold 1/3 cup of syrup. So you're figuring out how much do you have all together. Okay, whereas division, you might be trying to figure out how many pieces of a thing you would have if you if you split it. Okay, for multiplication, you may have a fraction of something, a fraction of an amount. That is definitely a multiplication situation, like 1/3 of 15. Well, that would be 5 because you're multiplying 1/3 times 15. And with division, you can think of sharing evenly, sharing or distributing evenly. Sometimes you're going to be given words like times as many. That lets you know you're going to be multiplying. And for division, you may even see words like divided. Okay? So those are just things to keep in mind. So without further ado, let's look at some sample problems. Okay, and we're going to figure out, is it a multiplication problem or a division problem, and then we'll solve it. Ray has 12 baseball cards in his collection. 3/4 of the cards have been autographed, which shows how to find the number of cards that have been autographed. Well, I know they said that 3/4 of the cards have been autographed. So 3/4 of, that's a signal that I'm multiplying. So I'm looking at 3/4 of 12. So I'm multiplying 3/4 times 12. And they're asking for which model shows 3/4 of 12. Now I can do this more than one way. First way is I can actually multiply straight across, and I'd see I have 36 over 4, because 3 times 12 is 36, 4 times 1 is 4, and that would be renamed. If I divide 36 divided by 4, I'd get 9 holes. So that'd give me 9 holes. I can look for which picture shows 9 holes selected. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can roll some out. The other thing I can look at is which of these shows 3 out of 4 each time. So if I look at and see, I can think of 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then this part isn't used. And I can also see 3/4 of, what's the total? The total group size is 12, because there's 12 of these boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So C would be the best answer choice. Okay, let's look at another problem. Millie uses 5 quarts of water for her plants. She uses 1/4 quart of water for each plant. How many plants does Millie water? Okay. So I know she has a total amount of 5 whole cups. Okay, my picture is not perfect here. Okay, and then I'm thinking for each of the 5 holes, I want to break it into 4 sections. Okay, so she can water 1 plant, 2 plants, 3 plants, 4 plants, 5 plants, 6 plants, 7 plants, 8 plants, 9 plants, 10 plants, 11 plants, 12 plants. I can keep going all the way until I get to 20 plants. My model just showed me that she can water 20 plants. Another way I can do this is definitely a division problem. That's why I broke my model up as I did. I'm doing 5 divided by 1/4. I can rewrite this. I keep my 5, I change my division sign into multiplication, and then I'm going to flip around my 1/4. So I'm going to put my 4 on top and my 1 on the bottom. Now I have 5 wholes, or 5/1, times 4/1, which would give me 20/1, which is the same thing as 20. Okay? And so now I have seen my answer with a model and with the mathematics. Okay, let's look at another problem. Remember, if I'm going too fast, press pause. Okay. Adiante drew a model to help him multiply a whole number by a fraction. Which multiplication expression does the model represent? Okay, they already let us know that this is multiplication. So I'm going to see I have 1, 2, 3 groups, and in each of the 3 groups, it's 3 wholes, the fraction I have is 1, 2, 3. 3 out of how many? Out of 4. So I'm multiplying 3 wholes times 3/4. Which answer choice matches? Nope, because that's times 1/4. This one does. No, that's times 1/2. No, that's times 1/3. So my best answer choice is B. All right. Let's look at 6. Phil took 4 loaves of banana bread to a picnic. After the picnic, 3/10 of each loaf was left. How many total loaves of banana bread were left after the picnic? Okay, I see the words 3/10 of each loaf was left. So that's just like saying 3/10 of 4 wholes. I can also look at my picture, and I have 3/10, another 3/10, another 3/10, and a fourth 3/10. So this is 3/10 times 4 wholes. Remember, I can think of 4 wholes as 4/1 and just multiply straight across. 3 times 4 would be 12. 10 times 1 would be 10. And I have 12/10. 12/10 is not an answer choice. But guess what? I need to simplify this. So I can take my 12/10 and divide it by 2/2. And I will get 6/5. Okay, now 6/5. Can I pull out any wholes from 6/5? Yep, 1 and 1/5. And thankfully, that is an answer choice. Excellent. Let's move on to the next problem. All right. This problem. Let's see what kind it is. A butcher grinds 4 pounds of beef, which shows how many 1/4 pound burgers can be made from the beef. Okay, so I'm thinking of there's a whole amount, and it's going to be, we're going to have 1/4 sections made from it. So this is another division problem. So I'm taking my whole amount, and I'm seeing how many sections that are 1/4 in size that can be made. So I'm thinking 4 wholes divided by 1/4. Now let's look at these pictures. Where do I see 4 holes? Well, here I see 4 holes. There's only 2 holes here. This one I have only 1 hole. And this one I have 4 holes. Now, we're going to see which out of A and D, which one is broken into fourths. Oh, look. A is broken into fourths. Yep, each of those boxes is broken into fourths. So that part looks good. What about D? These are not broken into anything. You do have 4 holes, but they're not broken into fourths. So the best answer choice is going to be A. And we'll see that he can make a total of 16 burgers. Remember, if I'm going too fast, pause the video. Okay, now we have number 13. 6 friends want to share a 1/2 gallon of ice cream equally. Oh, they want to share. Look at that little keyword. They want to share it equally. What fraction of a gallon of ice cream should each friend receive? Okay, remember, we're talking about sharing equally, evenly. This is a division problem. Now, the amount they have is 1/2 gallon. That's the total they have. And they're going to be dividing it among the number of friends. And they told us in the problem that is 6. So we're thinking, if I need to break 1/2 into 6 pieces, what would I get? Well, I can rewrite this problem. I keep my 1/2. I change my division symbol to a multiplication symbol. And then the 6, remember it's really just like 6 over 1, I'm going to flip it so that it's now 1 over 6. I'm flipping it. I'm writing the reciprocal of 6, which is 1/6. So now I can multiply straight across. And I have 1 times 1 equals 1 over 2 times 6, which equals 12. So my answer is 1/12 gallon, which is answer choice D. All right, let's look at the next problem. Connie has 3 granola bars. Look, they already give us the keyword. She divides the bars into 1/4 size pieces. Which picture represents the expression 3 wholes divided by 1/4? All right, so now I need to see 3 wholes broken into fourths. Look at A. I see 4 wholes broken into 3 sections, so that's 4 divided by 1/3. That's not it. B, I have 3 wholes broken into 3 sections again, so that'd be 3 divided by 1/3. But that's not 3 divided by 1/4. C, I have 1, 2, 3 wholes divided by, those are in fourths, 1/4. Ooh, this is a maybe. I like this one. The last one is, I have 4 wholes divided by, they're broken into 1/4 sections, so 4 divided by 1/4, which is not 3 divided by 1/4. So the correct answer is going to be C. Okay. All right. In this next problem, we see that Raul has 1/2 loaf of bread. He divides his loaf into equal parts. So they're even using that word, divides, equal parts. So we have to figure out what is the number we're starting with. Because this could either look like 2 wholes divided by 1/4, or I can think of this whole amount as a whole and then just look at this part as a half. And actually, that's what we're going to look at, because he's starting with 1/2 and he's going to divide his 1/2 into 4 equal parts. How do I know 4 equal parts? Because I'm looking. It was broken into 4 equal parts. So it is 1/2 divided by 4. Okay? Now the answer would actually be 1/8, but they didn't ask us for the answer. They just asked us which division expression does the model represent. So we're just looking for 1/2 divided by 4, which is answer choice A. It's not B, it's not C, and it's not D. Okay, let's look at the next problem. Our last problem. A shelf in a window is 4 feet long. Danny uses 3/4 of the shelf for plants. How many feet of the shelf does Danny use for plants? Now look at this. I have 3/4 of something, 3/4 of 4 feet. This tells me this is a multiplication problem, because every time I see this 3/4 of or a fraction of, I'm multiplying. So I know I'm multiplying 3/4 times 4 wholes, which is just like saying 3/4 times 4 over 1. I can multiply straight across and I get 3 times 4, which is 12, over 4 times 1, which is 4. And I can rename this. 12 divided by 4 is equivalent to 3 wholes. So 3 whole feet. 3 whole feet. Okay. Well, I hope this video was useful and just kind of gave you some things to keep in mind when we're thinking about, is it a fraction multiplication problem or a fraction division problem? It's going to be similar, but just know that if we're breaking something apart, we're probably dealing with a division problem. And if we're looking at multiple sets of something, of a fraction, then that would be the fraction multiplication problems. All right, until we meet again, which should hopefully be tomorrow night, take care.